Hello children, welcome back to another video of mine. Today we are going to concentrate on the chapter Agriculture. In this chapter we are going to concentrate on the different types of farming, the crop patterns, major crops that's grown in India, and also the technological and institutional reforms set up by our government to help the agriculture sector. So, shall we begin this chapter? Children, in the previous classes, you would have learned what is farming. And we also know that India is a land of agriculture and farming is one of the major occupation of most of the people in India. Keeping that in mind, now let's look into the different type of farming that is practiced in India. First one is primitive subsistence farming. This is practiced on a small patch of land with the help of primitive tools. The farmers depend on monsoons and use natural fertilizers like cow dung for their land. They do not use HYVS seeds or chemical fertilizers. A typical example for this is slash and burn agriculture. The next one is intensive subsistence farming. This is practiced in area of high population. It is labor intensive farming. Irrigation, fertilizers and pesticides are used to get maximum output from the limited land. The next one is commercial farming. Here the farmer uses modern inputs. Only a single crop is grown and it is grown for commercial purpose. This crop is used as a raw materials for industries. The last one is plantation. This is also another type of commercial farming in which a single crop is grown but on a large area. The plantation owners use the latest tractors, use capital intensive inputs and migrant laborers to work in their plantation. The crop which is grown is also a raw material for industries. Now let's look into the three crop seasons of India. They are Rabi, Kharif and Zaid. Rabi crops are sown in the winter season, that is from October to December, and harvested in the summer, that is from April to June. Rabi crops include wheat, barley, grains and oilseed. Kharif crops are sown in the beginning of the rainy season, that is between April and May, and harvested in the month of September and October. The Kharif crop includes rice, maize, millet, cotton, etc. Zaid, this is a short crop season in between Rabi and Kharif season. Crops like watermelon, muskmelon, cucumber are some of the examples for this crop. Now let's look into the major crop that's grown in India. Children, while studying this subtopic, you will have to consider on 4 points. The climate required for the crops to grow, the place where the crops are growing, the type of soil and the type of crops. Now let's look at them one by one. First one is rice. Rice needs high temperature, high humidity and an annual rainfall of 100 centimeters. It is a kharif crop and it is grown in the north and northeastern part of India and also in the coastal area. For wheat, it needs cool climate during the growing season and bright sunshine at the time of ripening. The annual rainfall should be around 50 to 75 centimeters. It is a rabi crop and it grows well in the Ganga-Suchlet plain. Now let's look at millets. Millets can be further divided into jowar, bajra and ragi. First let's see bajra. Bajra grows well on sandy soil as well as shallow black soil. Rajasthan is the largest producer of bajra followed by Uttar Pradesh. Jowar. Jowar is a coarse grain and has high nutrition value. It grows well in the moist area of Maharashtra, Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh. Now let's look at ragi. Ragi is a crop of dry region. It grows well in the red, black, sandy, loamy soil. Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Himachal Pradesh are some of the states where ragi is grown. For maize, it requires a temperature of 21 to 27 degrees Celsius. It is grown in the old alluvial soil. It is used both as a food and fodder for cattle. Karnataka, Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh are the places where maize are grown. Maize is also a kharif crop. For sugarcane to grow well, it needs hot and humid climate with again a temperature of 21 to 27 degrees Celsius and an annual rainfall. India is the second largest producer of sugarcane after Brazil. Tea grows well in the tropical and subtropical regions. It needs deep and fertile, well-drained soil which is rich in humus and organic matter. Tea bushes require warm and moist, frost-free climate all throughout the year. Assam is a state where tea is grown in abundance. Now children, let's look at pulses. Here you have to understand only 4 points. Number 1, pulses are grown in rotation with other crops so that the soil restores its fertility. It is a major source of protein for all the vegetarians. India is the largest producer and consumer of pulses. Maharashtra, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh are some of the states where pulses are grown in plenty. Students, do you know what is horticulture? Well, horticulture is the science and the art of growing plants, that is fruits, vegetables, flowers, etc. India is the largest producer of fruits and vegetables in the world. India is the producer of tropical as well as temperate fruits. India produces about 13% of the world's vegetables. Now let's look at some of the important fruits that is grown in India. Mango. It is grown in the state of Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Uttar Pradesh. Apple, pears, apricot, we find them in Jammu and Kashmir and Himachal Pradesh. Andhra Pradesh, Telangana and Maharashtra is famous for growing grapes. Meghalaya is famous for pineapple. Lychee and guava is found in Uttar Pradesh and Bihar. Bananas are grown in Kerala, Mizoram, Maharashtra and Tamil Nadu. Nagpur and Cherrapunchi is famous for oranges. Children, India is the largest producer of oilseeds in the world. Main oilseeds produced in India are groundnuts, mustard, coconut, soya beans, castor oil, etc. Most of these are edible and are used for cooking purposes. Now let's look at the non-food crops of India, or let's say the cash crops. The first one is rubber. Rubber is an equatorial crop. It requires moist and humid climate. Average rainfall is about 200 centimeters and the temperature is about 25 degrees Celsius. Rubber grows well in Tamil Nadu and Karnataka. The next one is fiber. Fiber is further divided into cotton, jute, hemp and natural silk. Natural silk is obtained from the cocoons of the silkworms fed on the green leaf. This is called sericulture. Sericulture or silk farming is the cultivation of silkworms to produce silk. The next fiber is cotton. Cotton is a kharif crop. It requires high temperature and light rainfall. It also needs 210 frost-free days and bright sunshine for it to grow. It grows well in black soil. The next fiber is jute. Jute is also called the golden fiber. It grows well in dry, fertile soil in the floodplains. It's used for making gunny bags, mats, ropes, etc. Now let's look into the last subtopic of this chapter, that is technological and institutional reform. The technological advancement gave birth to Green Revolution, White Revolution or Operation Flood. The government abolished the zamindari system. Radio and television informed the farmers about the new improved techniques of farming. Rural banks, cooperative society and Kisan credit card ensured easy availability of funds to the farmers. The government also announced minimum support price, remunerative and procurement price for important crops. This was done to check the exploitation of farmers by the speculators and middlemen. Well, these were some of the reforms done by the government to improve the agriculture sector. Well, children, we have come to the end of this chapter. Thank you all for listening to my video.